Hi everyone, it's David Horner and I'm coming to you today with an update on the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, or CBILS, or CBILS as I like to call it. Kind of reminds me of Basil Fawlty's wife. I hope you're enjoying the beautiful weather we're having at the moment. It's a very strange time we're living in, but I mean, just look at the color of the sky behind me. It's absolutely amazing. So, moving on, the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme, CBILS, went live yesterday, and it is now available through about 40 institutions in the UK. And it is very, very strongly recommended that you approach whoever you are banking with currently. Given the demand for this product at this unprecedented time, I'm breaking with normal rules and suggesting that you don't shop around and try and find the best deal. It could take you ages to find them and could result in delays if you try to get a loan from a bank that doesn't know you. Some of the bank websites, and I've been on most of them now, some of the bank websites show that being a current customer is one of their criteria just to get to their application form. It's not normally the best financial advice, but we are not in a normal situation. So stick with your existing bank and take the cash that you can get when you can get it. Okay, so there are 4 criteria that you have to meet in order to qualify for the CBILS, for CBILS. Number 1, the application must be for a business. It's not a personal thing, it's for a business. Number 2, you must be a UK-based business with less than £45 million in turnover. There are separate schemes for larger companies. And this applies to limited companies, to unincorporated businesses, partnerships, and sole traders. So any kind of business in the UK up to 45 million. Number 3, the facility must be used primarily for trade within the UK. And number 4, and this is important, you must have a sound business proposal and a business plan, but have inadequate security to meet the bank's normal lending criteria. And this is the crux of the scheme. By having the government guarantee in place, businesses that would not otherwise qualify for a loan can actually get access. So what facilities are available? Well, it looks like the CBILS is applying to overdrafts, term loans, and asset finance. And the banks are offering a minimum ranging between 10 to 25,000 up to a maximum of 5 million under the program. Loans can be for a period of anywhere from 3 months to 6 years. Now, it's important to note that no interest is charged on the loan for the first 12 months. And it looks like there's no arrangement fees or early repayment fees. For loans outstanding beyond 12 months, interest will be charged and some fees may apply too. But based on a quick review of the main high street bank sites, interest rates seem to be quite attractive. So, one of the options might be, if you're not sure, go out and apply for this facility, get the money, have it in the bank, hold on to it, and after 12 months you can repay it if you don't need it and you've not had to incur the interest charge. So this is really quite something substantial that the government is offering. I've had a lot of people come to me asking about security and guarantees. So in terms of the security that you're providing and the government guarantee, there's one point that you've really got to understand. And that is that your business, as the borrower, your business remains liable for 100% of the loan. So the way it works is the government is providing, through the British Business Bank, an 80% guarantee to the lending institution, but that's really designed to help them get through the credit process so that you can get the funding approved, as opposed to the government stepping in and saying, well, we'll cover 80%, you only have to pay back 20%. Make no mistake about it. If things go wrong, the bank will take action to recover 100% of the outstanding debt from you, the borrower, not just the 20%. You need to be crystal clear about this. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about the kind of security that they can offer and whether the bank is going to seek a personal guarantee, a PG. And again, based on preliminary reviews of the CBILS that are available from most of the high street banks, it would appear that PGs are not being required on facilities under £100,000. That's amazing. That is just amazing. I mean, in recent years, the banks have been needing PGs on just about anything, and certainly if you've been borrowing money through any of the sort of the newer fintech sites like Funding Circle or iWalker or any of those, giving a PG has been a condition of the funding to date. So this is really something quite remarkable, and should be viewed as a positive. So up to £100,000. Again, it may vary from bank to bank, and I haven't had time to read the small print, but from what I've seen from the major high street banks, up to £100,000 you could get without having to give a personal guarantee. And for a lot of SME businesses, £100,000 could well be enough to get you through this storm that we're facing in. Now, I always advise entrepreneurs to avoid a PG if at all possible, and this could be a really good reason for you to keep, if you're going to go for a loan, keep your needs below that £100,000 threshold. One really important thing, under the terms of this scheme, the banks are not allowed to place a charge on your personal private residence, which is the banking term for your home, your main home. The banks are not allowed to put a charge on your home, okay? That's really important. Now, if you give a personal guarantee, they still have the right to require you to repay the things, and again, we'll need to see what the small print says, but from what I've seen, from what I've read, they cannot put a charge on your home. Now, be sensible with the amount that you borrow. Remember, your business is on the hook to repay all of the money, not just the 20% that the government hasn't guaranteed. And if you've given a PG, they will come after your personal assets. But as I've said, they can't place a charge on your home. Depending on which bank you go to, I've seen guidance on different bank websites. I saw one bank saying that you can potentially borrow up to 2 times what your wages bill was last year. I've seen another bank saying that you can borrow up to 25 to 30% of your annual sales or turnover last year. So again, you'll need to go in and see the details on the bank's site. So typically, what kind of information are banks looking for? Well, you'll need to provide your last 2 years of full accounts. And if you're a limited company, that's the full set of accounts with the details at the back, not the abbreviated set of accounts that goes onto Companies House. You'll need to prepare your latest management accounts. That's the P&L and the balance sheet from the end of the last year when your accounts were done. So if, for argument's sake, your year end was September, then the bank will want to see your September of 2018 and your September of 2019 accounts, and then they'll want to see management accounts for the period from October up to the end of February, because we're in March now. So, but they will definitely want to see those current management accounts. They will want to see a business plan that shows that in normal circumstances your business was viable, that your business, had it not been for the coronavirus, that your business would have been able to trade without needing funds. They want to see a conservative forecast for your business over the next 12 months. And don't be afraid to show the impact that this is going to have from the coronavirus, of your sales falling by 50, 75. I know some people who've lost all of their clients. Don't be afraid to show that, because it's, we're in a very, very strange and unprecedented time. The key thing is that the forecast needs to justify the amount of money that you're seeking to borrow, and it needs to be clear about what the costs are that you're going to be covering. And if you are in a situation where you have to give a personal guarantee, then for those larger loans where a PG is required, your bank will require a statement of your personal assets and liabilities. So depending on which bank you go with, there may be other requirements. Again, I haven't been able to go through and read the detailed terms and conditions on all the sites. I've scanned the big ones, and I've downloaded several of the forms and had a look at them. And I have to say, this looks like a really, really interesting and attractive and not at all onerous program. But it is still a loan. It is still money that you will have to pay back. So a few questions that I've had from people. I've shared this with a number of people. Some people have been asking about if they've got a startup business. It's a little more difficult on that one, but if you have a startup business that has started, or if you can demonstrate that you were launching, I know of a particular business that was all set to launch on the 1st of March and had done all sorts of things, and then all of a sudden last week just had to to stop it before they'd actually secured any sales. I've advised them to go ahead and apply for the loan anyway, because they can prove that they were starting the business. You know, they had an arrangement with a landlord, and they'd been doing marketing, and they'd been doing testing, and they had their business plan. So don't let the fact that you're a startup hold you back. If this coronavirus thing is what stopped you from progressing with your business, then you should be able to apply, because it's called the Coronavirus Business Interruption Loan Scheme. And it's clearly interrupted your business. Some people have asked me, oh, well, I've got money in savings. Should I pump that into my company? Again, under normal circumstances, I'd say if things were bad, then yes, pump that into your company. But right now we're in unprecedented times. And if you've got savings, I'd hang on to them. This is funding that the UK government through the banking system is making available to businesses to support them at this time. And I would take full advantage of that. Some people have asked me about, you know, what do I do with my existing bank facilities versus new ones? Do I try and go back and renegotiate them? I would say no. At this stage of the game, the key thing is that this is a brand new program that the banks are being very, very strongly encouraged to provide to support businesses. Whereas if you've got an existing facility that's out there, there will be processes in place, there will be termination conditions in place. Leave your existing bank facilities in place, continue to honor them, but follow the rules on this one. And if you do find yourself needing additional debt, then go down for the CBILS route. It's a much better way to go. Overdraft versus loan, it really depends. So an overdraft is where you can dip in and out, whereas a term loan is where the bank puts money into your bank account and then you repay it over a period of time. Both of them are available under the CBILS scheme, as is asset finance. So if you want to borrow money to buy some assets for your business, or indeed if you want to do invoice discounting for your business, those are all available and covered. So what are the next steps? Well, the first next step is to go to your bank's website and find out, and it'll be on the front page of every bank's website now, there will be something called the Coronavirus Business Interruption Scheme, CBILS. And just click on that and follow the links that are through there. I know on some of the bank sites they're just doing information and they've not got the full details yet. I know on some of the banks they say, please, if you're a customer, phone this number. And I know on some of the banks they've already got a set of questions that you can answer that take you through to an initial application form. So whichever your bank is, go onto their main website and follow what their instructions are. This is something that's going to be, the banks are going to be inundated with inquiries. If you're in the happy position of not immediately needing cash, hold fire, because the banks are going to be drowned with people who do need cash. And the government has made clear that this program is available for at least the next 6 months. Okay, so if you're in a position where you've got cash and you don't need it, hold tight, let the other people get it. It's not going to run out. And you know, when this deal was announced, you know, they've made very clear that the funding is available. The Bank of England and the government are working together to ensure that they can support businesses. The other upside of waiting, you know, and it might only be a week or two or a month or whatever it is that you won't be waiting as long. I spoke to someone who was on the phone to one of the main high street banks, the one that said phone us. She spent 3.5 hours on the phone waiting to get through. She finally got through and was able to be helped and is now taking the next steps. But if your business is in a position where you can afford to keep trading without this, then keep trading without this, because you know the scheme's going to be available for 6 months. Once you've got your application, you need to look at all the information that the bank's looking for. Again, that's your last 2 years of full accounts. It's your latest management accounts, a P&L and balance sheet. It's a business plan. It's a conservative cash flow forecast over the next 12 months. So that's a bunch of information that you're going to need to be prepared. You'll probably need some help to do that if this is all new to you. You can talk to your accountant or your business advisor, or if you'd like, you can talk to me. So during my career, I've been the chief financial officer of businesses both large and small. I have raised tens of millions of pounds in debt funding. I understand exactly what the banks are looking for, and I speak their language. I also speak your language as an entrepreneur. If you'd like my help, please send an email to me on dbh, that's like Delta Bravo Hotel, dbh@addthenmultiply.com. and use the subject line CBILS help please, and I'll happily come back to you. Or if you're seeing this on a social media post, just hit me up in the comments and I'll come back to you. Okay, that's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will give you some more updates in due course as we hear more information about other schemes coming up from the government. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the good weather. Bye-bye.